Okay, when we last left Athena P, she was telling us that cone snails existed. And I explained that I will forever remember her of cone snails' existence just because of this show. Okay, grab your sun kisses every show. How time to see what she says next.
Because holy shit, this thing gives me nightmares now. This little fuck shoots out these thorn things, which they call harpoons, which makes them even scarier. And guess what else? The harpoons they shoot are poisonous. The Octonauts are so much better than me because so many of these animals almost killed them, and then they end up giving the most half-assed apology. And they just accept it. Every time, they assure these little terrors, no worries, friend. If you're ever in trouble again, just call us. What? They're too good for this world.
And they should have died. Let's be real.
First, let me introduce you to home base, the Octopod. I finally know what this thing is that someone sent me in my P.O. box. The Octopod is their home. They have slides to get to the launch bay, which is where their smaller ships are. The Octopod itself is a ship, but unless they're fleeing from natural disaster, traveling long distances, or they're taking it for repairs, it's usually docked. The four arms of the Octopod with big spears have the Vegemal's garden, the room where they usually play ping pong, and the other two arms have the bedrooms of Barnacles, Dashy, Quasi, and Peso. Tweak's room is in the launch bay, where she's always busy making new modes of transportation for them or tweaking the old ones. I'm gonna be real with you, I don't know where Shellington and Inkling sleep.
Oh.
I think Inkling sleeps in his library, and I'm pretty sure I remember Shellington sleeping in his lab. That leaves one room remaining, the medical bay where Peso tends to sick or hurt animals. I forgot the kitchen and the headquarters. Fuck. Now let's talk about the Gups. Gup A, I'd say, is used the most frequently. It's seen in the theme song with Peso, Quasi, and Barnacles. It's reliable, but not the most interesting. Gup B is Quasi's favorite, and he's very possessive over it.
Well, I made an error there. I was going to say, why'd you build this with only one seat? Because last I checked they only had one button. Yeah, why did they build the Gup B with only one seat?
Coming with you. Gup B is the fastest Gup, and it's seen getting a lot of modifications throughout the series. In the episode Flying Fish, Tweak added retractable pectoral fins and a tail fin to the Gup B, so it can hop out of the water and glide in the air. And this is why airing order matters, Netflix, you heaping pile of shit.
Yeah!
Because why are you trying to show me this feature before Tweak even made it? Quasi also asks Tweak to add an eject button to the Gup B.
And this led to an entire conflict where they lost it in a kelp forest.
Repeatedly reminds Quasi to turn off the engine before hitting the eject button, or the Gup B will drive off without him. He didn't listen, and that's exactly what happens. Gup B is also able to change the paint on the outside to look like tiger sharks.
How? Millie, what'd you do?
A feature that ironically doesn't deter tiger sharks from trying to eat it because they're cannibals.
Damn, nature, you're scary.
And
what's the point then?
Gup C is for towing. In the season 1 episode about the Remipedes, Shellington crashes the Gup D.
Yeah, he does that a lot. One downside about Shellington being the most powerful character, he doesn't have a driving license, cause then he'd be even more powerful.
An ongoing character trait of Shellington's is that he can't drive for shit. In fact, this is not his last crash. Just an episode after that, Tweak made remotes for the Gups to drive themselves. But somehow Shellington fucked that up too by breaking the remotes. Tweak says she's able to fix the devices in 6 to 8 weeks because she has to order new parts. I'm not sure if humans exist in this world, but if they don't, just imagine that shipping service being ran by more big-headed animals.
Ah, there you are! What are you still doing here? To clarify, I don't hate Hello Kitty. I'm just annoyed that she's all over the place. But yeah, if Shellington knew how to drive, then he'd probably be way too powerful and he'd just destroy the whole world. So that's why Shellington doesn't know how to drive. He'd be too powerful.
We also see the Gup F for the first time, which is so bare bones they have to drive it around like Flintstones, essentially.
Yeah.
Just paddling it around. In the Great Penguin Race special, the Gup A has skis now, so it's turned into a completely different vehicle. I'm not sure if it's ever done that again, because as the series progresses, Tweak makes more ice-specific vehicles, so they wouldn't really have a need for that. In the premiere of Season 2, Tweak invented a tentacle suit for Dr. Inkling, and when he wears it, he's able to control the movements of the Octopod. He also claims to be an expert at tentacle wrestling.
Don't have that mean what I think it means.
And not to kink shame the old man, but I advise everyone to not Google that.
Yep.
Do not Google that. Many
Yes, don't Google it. I'm not even gonna Google it.
Gups are introduced in specials, which will get their own section. But guys, there are so many Gups they ran out of letters. The only one we fully know nothing about is Gup N. Everything else has either appeared in the series, has concept art, or had toys released for them. That alone is bonkers to me. You're releasing toys of something that hasn't even been seen in the show yet?
Because they don't care.
That's when you know a show is popular. Also, there's an Octonauts themed Baskin Robbins in Korea.
What?
I know I'm filming this in my house, but mentally I'm there. In the Season 3 episode Artificial Reef, Tweak is trying to fix the Gup F. Remember the shitty pedaling one? And she also reveals it's the first Gup she ever built. So
Yeah, makes sense.
why'd you start with the letter F? Kinda sounds like you manifested a fat fucking failure.
True.
According to the wiki, F stood for first, but I still think that's stupid. The Gup F was also destroyed in a hurricane and was only useful after its wreckage because now its base is used as an artificial reef where many creatures live. Maybe the F actually stood for free real estate.
It's the Gup free real estate.
Let's go back to the Octopod. In the Season 1 episode Narwhal, this is the first time we saw Captain Barnacle steer the Octopod manually, because icy water was causing the tech to malfunction. Barnacles exclaimed, "It feels good to get my paws on the ship's steering wheel again." After I watched that, I wrote, I wonder if we'll ever see what the Octopod looked like before all of Tweak's upgrades. Funny I should say that. In the Octopod mystery, the bubble converter for their engine is broken, and Tweak says it will take weeks to build a new one. So she gets the idea that they should go to the old, unused Octopod that has since been turned into an artificial reef.
Oh, that makes sense. Oh. If I had a nickel for every time there was a Fairly Odd Parents reference in this video, I have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Because there's still a bubble converter there. She said she made the first Octopod before they were even officially Octonauts. The only 3 that knew about this old Octopod were Tweak, obviously she's the one that brought it up, Barnacles, and Professor Inkling. Meaning they were the OG team that started the group.
Yee!
This also means that the Octopod didn't have a bare-bones, untechy version. The old Octopod looked exactly the same, it just had a lot of glitches in the system. This show has such a whimsical view of technological innovation, it's such a breath of fresh air in what I would call the Black Mirror era. Like, why the fuck do we have artificial intelligence pretending to be people's girlfriends, when instead we can be inspired by animals with certain evolutionary advantages?
Yeah!
The damselfish can see colors we don't, so Tweak invented damselfish vision. Goggles that help them see like damselfish do.
Wow.
Where is that in 2024?
Yeah!
Where are my suction cup suits? And my iguana claws crawlers? And look at this. Season 2, there's Octonauts Autobots.
I didn't need that in my life.
Octobots. They actually call it the Octomax suit, but whatever. One more thing. To protect themselves from loud noises, they wore headphones like this. I love cartoon logic.
Yeah. Did you see the image of Arthur wearing headphones? Ha, 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 ha. Part 4. Part 4 is coming soon.